I can teach you internet marketing. I'm going to. I can teach you how to monetize a list. I'm going to. I can teach you how to build a list. I'm going to. I can teach you how to make a product, build a product, write a sales copy, get it up. We're going to. We're going to do all that. But one thing I probably cannot teach you is how to be and think like an entrepreneur, right? So that is why I started the event with some expectation setting, because there are going to be times where you're going to go around the box. You're going to have to, right? And this is something I wish I had started the prior group with, and I'm going to start now. I'm going to say something to you like, hey, you should recover 70% of your capital on day one. It'll make sense later. Just go with it for now. And if your number ends up being 63%, don't have a panic attack, right? It's okay. What we have is either it was just 63%, or we have a small problem, or something in the way you're doing it, the way you're talking, the way your page looks is different. So also get comfortable with trying things and tweaking things without always having to have me approve it. All right, it's your business, and I want you guys to feel comfortable starting to fall a little bit, okay? And I'll tell you right now, I mean this, in the first group of students we've worked with, and going back years, all the students I've worked with, the ones that are ready to fall the quickest are always the ones that make it the fastest. I have no idea why that is, but it totally works out that way. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is thinking like an investor. And I saw, the reason this whole thing came up is I saw a video recently, I was just randomly watching it, by Andy Jenkins and Mike Filsaime. Some of you guys may know who those individuals are, may not. They're very brilliant marketers. Mike Filsaime was actually my mentor at a certain point for a while. He taught me a lot about internet marketing. And they were sitting with this another woman called Laura, her name is Laura Betterly, and they were talking about list building. And they were talking about what I'm going to share with you in phase one. But they were talking about it in the perspective of buying leads, buying traffic from Facebook. We're going to talk about a couple of other sources rather than Facebook. And then Andy all of a sudden goes, I like to think like an investor. And I thought, whoa, that's a really good concept. And I want you guys to start thinking like that too. Now, what's funny is many of us are happy to put $100,000 into the stock market and get a 10% rate of return per year. Especially in today's day and age, if I heard that something is returning 10%, I'd be like, heck yeah, that's awesome. But when I ask you to invest in traffic, right, suddenly, when do I get my money back? When is this going to happen? When's that going to happen? When am I in profit? How much profit will I be by? Well, let me give you a worst case example. Let's say today you put in $1, okay? And let's say 2 weeks from now, you've recovered 50 cents. You've recovered 50% of your ad spend. That's in 2 weeks. I'm just giving you a really, really rough example here. These are numbers I'm pulling out of my butt. Let's say another 4 weeks later, and I'm giving you like worst case stuff here, you've pulled another 50 cents. Okay? So now you're break even. In 6 weeks, you've recovered your capital. So it's basically like investing in a stock that paid you dividends equivalent of what you had invested in the span of 6 weeks. Right? So if you had invested $100,000 in the stock market, in this example, that investment would have paid you back the amount that you invested in 6 weeks. Now let's say in another 4 weeks, you make 30 cents. You are now 30 cents in profit 10 weeks in. Right? Let me ask you, how many times are you willing to do this transaction? Endless number of times, right? Yet one of the places where we're going to have a hurdle, I'm telling you this right off the bat, is when I first come to you and say, I want you to invest $1,000 in clicks to build your list, it's inevitable I'm going to have that question. But what if, how will I, when will I, what if this happens, how much will I make back right away, how long will it take for me to make it back? What I challenge you to do before we even start this weekend is to think like an investor from now on. Okay? I won't share the details or the actual numbers, Tom, that Tom gave me yesterday. I got really excited because I asked Tom, I said, how big is your list? And he said, okay, it's XYZ big. I said, oh, great. And I said, how much are you making now? And he goes, I'm making X amount per week, but I'm making this, I'm not really trying. I'm still really busy with phase 2 stuff, so I'm not really focusing on my list, but I make this much. And I looked at him and I said, dude, that's awesome. Like the fact that you're making that much and you're in profit. He said, yeah. I said, well, superb. Go buy another X number of leads, and then you'll double what you're currently making. That's what he's making when he's not even trying. Then he'll start, as he starts to figure out his voice to the list, starts talking more, and starts learning more, and starts having his own products. I mean, that number will only go up, right? So one of the numbers that we hear a lot, that you'll hear me talk about today, is was actually coined and started by Mike Filsaime. He released this number years ago, and many marketers have confirmed it, is $1 per lead per month is your goal, okay? But so let's say you have a list of 10,000 people. Ideally speaking, that should be making you $10,000 a month. Now that number could go as little as 2, 3, 4,000. It could be as high as 20, 30, 40,000, okay? It takes time to get to it. So A, you'll become better and better at monetizing your list by learning how to promote to them. B, you'll start launching your own products. When you launch your own products, these numbers, they automatically go up. But let me ask you a question. If the list is done and paid for, and it's sitting in your system, it's free, and you're not making $1, but you're making 40 cents, is that a bad day? No. Right? If you want, I would just say, fine, go build a bigger list, and you'll make more. The numbers are simple, so it's really an investment type of mentality, which you put in. Then if you like the result, if the results are coming, just keep putting more. And those numbers will automatically get bigger. And trust me, at the numbers we're playing at, it will work that way. I mean, once you have a list of like 500,000 or 1 million, then the things may start to change. And we can talk, but for anyone in this room, start to think like an investor. And think if you can have, like, I'll tell you in my company, I like to make sure everything's on less than 60 days. Ideally 30 days. So almost every campaign I do, I want to earn my money back in 30 days. Why? Because it allows me to infinitely scale it. I can scale my campaigns, but that doesn't always happen. So for me, if I can earn it back within 60, I'm happy. Because, guys, a lead in your system is with you for a long time. Average lead life value is years, right? So if we're talking 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, we're talking pennies compared to what you're going to make from that list. So the quicker you can grasp that, the bigger and badder you're going to be. Like Glenn said earlier, he said, man, now I know I can build a 10,000 list, like, boom, it's easy, right? Because he just did it. But the cool thing is, now that he's done it and he's making money with it, the next 10,000 is like that. Then the 10,000 after that is that. Before you know it, we've got another Lily that says she was 13,000 last April and now she's 95,000. So that was thinking like an investor.